It was a sunny afternoon. Year's Eve. The scorching sun was of less significance to Durosinmi as he trudged along on the narrow winding path to the town hall. The hustle and the bustle around was non-existent to him, as he suddenly sighted a figure approaching. Is this Tunji? No, it can't be. Durosinmi's dull and drab disposition immediately metamorphosed into excitement as he stood transfixed before his old friend. The withdrawal of Tunji from the Ayawumi Community High School due to his inability to make headway in his studies separated the inseparable friends. Durosinmi could not forget in a hurry the torrent of tears that streamed down his cheeks when he learned that Tunji had relocated to Ibadan. Tunji, who was now in Ayawumi for the Yuletide celebration with his parents, found his voice first. Durosinmi, are you the one? Tunji asked, looking at Durosinmi straight in the face. Yes, I am, Durosinmi replied. Why are you in this way? What happened to you? It's a long story, Durosinmi inhaled and exhaled, but thank God I'm getting over it. Tell me, because I would like to know, Tunji asked, fidgeting. We are all working on slippery ground towards a certain destination, you began. Some are able to maintain their balance and things go as they want, but for others they lose control of the grip and find themselves where they don't expect. Such is the case with me. At times, some things happen to you, and you find it difficult to explain why they happen. When my father died 2 years ago, life became miserable, meaningless, and empty. As I was recovering from the shock, my mother also joined him after the prolonged illness. I just found that I am an orphan at this tender age of my life. The whole world seemed to have turned its back against me, and I felt like I was alone in a desolate world, a stranger with no one to cling to for support. He looked down as tears were gathering in his eyes. I became mentally disoriented, and dementia almost set in. But suddenly, I discovered that there was another world ahead of me, and so I had to pick the crumbs of what was left of the past, and I started building up hope for a better future. You know, light can only shine well when there is darkness. I cannot see a new vision, a world not inhabited by ordinary men of flesh and blood, but men of courage and valor, men armed with fortitude and determination. It is in this world I am now planning to live. Oh, Tunji remarked with a sullen voice. I really pity you, and I think I can be of help to you if you don't mind. But people now see me as a leper, Durosinmi declared with a morose voice. Don't worry, Tunji assured. Success has many friends, but failure is a lone ranger. It's better to taste the other part of life than everything to always go smooth and rosy. Let's leave that, Durosinmi said. So how's life with you in Ibadan? Ah, my friend, life is not that easy there at all. Ibadan is no man's land, but if one is not lazy or arrogant, surviving is not difficult there. When I got to Ibadan, I was squatting with a friend who helped me to get a job as a security man with a company. With the little money I earn, I'm able to cope with life. What about studies? Durosinmi asked. I have abandoned that for now. Somebody like you can still study further, Tunji said, and kept silent. It appeared he was thinking of something. I hope you won't mind coming with me to Ibadan. Ibadan is a land of opportunities. Ibadan, the city of many people, where nobody pokes into your affairs. Everybody minds their own business there. But what can I do for a living there? Durosinmi asked, with enthusiasm gradually coming into him. Don't worry about that. You will find a job to do. The only thing is that you must not be lazy or look down on any job. Can I go along with you when you are returning there? It's all right. I have a room to myself now, and you can stay with me for the time being until you're able to get a room of your own. With this accord, they bid each other goodbye. Durosinmi got Tunji's address and promised to join him in Ibadan soon. And on the second day after his meeting with Tunji, his senior school certificate result was released. He came off in flying color with 5 distinctions and 3 credits. He never expected such a good result, since the examination papers were written at one of the most trying moments of his life. He had just lost his father and was still in a mourning mood when he wrote all the papers. He actually missed paper 3 of the English language, and yet he got a credit pass on it. His performance in the examination rekindled some hope in him and gave him the courage to forge ahead. He eventually went to his school to obtain the results slip, and after paying the necessary fee, he was given the slip. 2 weeks later, he packed his few belongings and headed for Ibadan to meet his friend Tunji. Life in Ibadan was not really strange to him, having spent some of his holidays there in the past. He has been there on 2 different occasions at his mother's cousin's place in Ibadan. After 6 weeks of intensive job searching on arrival in Ibadan, he once again had cause to smile. His application to a Sterling Bank business associate, located in the heart of Ibadan, had elicited an unusual response. He stood speechless and transfixed before the company's secretary, whose cheerful words of congratulations heralded a new dawn in his life. As any at 6:30 every morning, Durasinmi would be on his way to the company. He would trek the almost 6-kilometer distance between Tunji's house where he was squatting and his office. Even after he had received his first salary, a paltry sum of 5,000 naira, he still ignored taxicabs and motorbikes. He knew he needed to save as much money as possible in order to make his dream a reality. Tunji had spared him the financial boarding by helping him to procure a university's matriculation examination form. Durasinmi only needed to muster some money to pay for daily evening tutorial classes and buy some necessary textbooks in preparation for the examination. He needed some self-sacrifice and self-denial in order to move further in his education. He must read extensively to pass. He was not ready to join the bandwagons of examination cheats who, with the aid of their parents, would bribe some officials to either purchase examination question papers before the date of examination, or help them to inflate their scores to a desired level. The day of reckoning was a Saturday. Candidates started trooping into the government academy, Durasinmi's examination center, as early as 7:30 in the morning. He was the third to enter the spacious hall of the center, expecting the arrival of officials and invigilators. At exactly 9 o'clock in the morning, 2 young men entered the hall and instructed the large crowd that had filled almost all available spaces to go outside the hall for verification and screening. Throughout the 4-hour examination, Durasinmi struggled hard to abstain from the surrounding events. He saw how students were cheating with impunity in the hall, but he made up his mind to refrain from such a nefarious act. He saw how police officers collaborated actively with agents of some candidates to bring in examination answers to students. He wondered why people who were supposed to protect the credibility and sanctity of examinations became the same people who were conniving with some unscrupulous students to perpetrate examination malpractice. Even invigilators were conspicuously seen offering courier services to some favored candidates, openly smuggling in answers. "This is a betrayal of trust," he mumbled to himself. Nevertheless, he finished the examination and returned home with full assurance that everything went well.